Hello, hello. Welcome to the Bridging the Generation podcast, special edition Instagram. We're doing an Instagram live video. Today I have a very, very special guest, man. I got the one and only P. Stu. He's supposed to be tapping in. Hey, what's going on, brother? What's going on, man?
What's goody? What's good? What's cracking, man?
Words can't even explain, how excited I am, man, to have you on the platform, man. Being a DC native, man, growing up here in the city, man, born and raised. I've been listening to you since I was in high school, man.
Yeah, that's don't let my age out the bag, but yeah, man, we've been around for a minute doing this hustle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, we not gonna do that, man. That voice, man, is very recognizable in the city, man. And I love what you've been doing for the X amount of years, man. Been really holding that flag, man. And you're a landmark in the city, man. I want you to know that, brother.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I feel blessed to be in a position to where I could contribute to the culture and to the city and to the movements and to the scene in the DMV. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to even be a part of that. You know what I mean?
No doubt. We got love for you, man. So I know you on the road, man. I hope you got a little time, man. Because your career is you got a long story career, man, and I wanna get into the bulk of it, man.
Yep, let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got some time, man, like on the Bridging the Generation podcast, man, we chop it up, man. We chop it up.
Yeah, let's chop it up. I'm driving it. I'm in the whip. I'm about to roll up, so I'm good to go.
All right. Well, look. Well, first of all. Hey, P. Stu, I always wanted to know, man, how did you get the name P. Stu, man? Like, you ain't got to get your government or nothing like that, but how did you get that name, man?
I mean, that's where I got it. It's my government, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what it is. My name is Paul Stewart. So
yeah, I know that.
I know
your
that.
government.
So yeah, that's the move right there. P. Stu is always, when I was younger playing sports, I was always Stu, or always had like P. Stu on the back of my jerseys and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, it just, when it was time to pick a radio name, I didn't want to be the one that like grab a name that was so far left and crazy and out this world. I wanted to just be me. You know what I'm saying? So that's we stuck it out.
Okay. So what you used to hoop? Football, basketball, what?
I played all of that. Football, basketball, baseball. Baseball and football was my main though.
Okay. All right, man. So look, we talking about we want to go back, man. We want to go back because one thing about you, P. Stu, man, you stay real low, man. Like you make moves, man. You well connected. But one thing I love about you, man, and one of the things I try to model, even my career or the way I move, man, like I like how you stay low. And a lot of people, I don't think they know, all your contributions to the culture, man. And I feel like a lot of people should know about these things, man. I've heard nothing but great things about you. So I wanna go back, man, to the beginning, man. Like, could you tell the people like where exactly you from?
I'm originally from Jersey, you know what I'm saying? I went to school in Atlanta. I went to Morehouse. And when I went to Morehouse back in the day, I connected with some dudes from DC. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who I ran with. Still my friends to this day, lifelong friends, that I met in college. But I left Morehouse early. I didn't finish. I came back to Jersey, and I was back in Jersey like, man, this ain't it. Like I gotta get out of here. Like I didn't leave
Right.
and go to school in Atlanta to come back. You know what I'm saying? So I went to D.C. A buddy of mine that we grew up with in Jersey, my man DJ J Ski. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's
of course, man. Come on, man. Hell, DJ J Ski.
Yeah. So he's big. He's huge in Philly, but he had got the job on 93.9 WKYS early in the life after Kathy Hughes had bought it. Radio One had acquired it. Jay Ski had got the job spinning, and me and my man Pooch, we all grew up together with Ski in Jersey, and you know, we were rapping, we were artists, so we were like, we out of here. Ski, you going to DC to spin records on the radio? We gonna go down there. We gonna make records. We gonna blow up. We gonna get a record deal. That's how we were thinking. You know what I'm saying? You know, we definitely came to DC to pop off, and not even at the time. You know, this is mid '90s, so at that time, DC wasn't necessarily the market for rap. You know, to come to pop off for rap, but we was just like, we wasn't even thinking about it like that. We just knew our homie was on the radio, so we came down and we was basically his assistants, his interns. We carried his crates everywhere into all the clubs, because back then it wasn't no Serato, wasn't no internet, digital stuff. DJ, you know, for a DJ to spin a good two-hour set going through, you know, currents and classics, you had to bring about 5 to 10 crates in the spot, you know, full of records, full of vinyl. So that's what we did. We carried the crates into the radio station, into the, you know, into the to the clubs and stuff, and then we would hop on the mic and just bug out, just doing us. And you know, a couple people at the radio station kind of recognized our personalities, liked our personality, and was like, "Yo, that's something like what we looking for right now." You know, to pop off 93.9 WKYS in this market. So they paired me and my man Pooch up with Steph Lover, and then you know, we formed the Live Squad.
Yeah, I remember that, man. I remember I was in 10th grade, man, and I don't want to cut you off. I just want to say this, like, I remember like before you guys came to the radio, man. I remember like it was Kevin Slow jamming James, and then you had it was, you know, like the format of radio changed. It seemed like you guys just came in a beautiful time, man. Like when you guys came, the entire game changed, man, as far as hip hop becoming a dominant force on the radio. So how was it like being a part of that, and how was it like putting Pooch Man and Step Lover? How was that experience?
I mean, it was crazy. You know, at the time that it's happening, we don't really realize that it's happening like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not looking at it like, you know, like that that it's this game changing period and era in DC. We kind of just was like having fun, and you know, we didn't, you know, me and Pooch didn't go to school for radio. Steph did, you know what I'm saying? Steph definitely went to school for radio, but me and Pooch didn't. So we were just having fun, you know. But then, you know, as the years went on and we got to kind of look back at that time, yeah, it's like, man, we were definitely part of, you know, making hip hop alive in the market. You know, it didn't start with us. There was definitely hip hop. They was rapping in the go-go bands. It was Stinky Dink. It was, you know, all types, you know, Fat Rodney. It was all types of, you know, rap. Section 8 Mob, Question Mark Asylum. You know what I'm saying? So
that's my era right there, man. Like, how was it? Like, you know, you coming from, like I said, I know you originally from Jersey. Then you went down to Atlanta. Now, you was down in Atlanta during the whole Freaknik era, all that, right?
Man, was I.
So how was it? How was the adjustment, or what did you think about coming to Chocolate City, man? As far as like, you know, the go-go and the like you said, the sound of hip hop in DC, it wasn't accepted like it was up north, you know, in New Jersey, New York, the tri-state area, or abroad. So what did you think about the climate, the music climate of DC when you came here?
I mean, we loved it. If you love music and you love culture, you're gonna love go-go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way you can't really fake it, and you definitely can't be a part of DC culture without embracing go-go and without go-go embracing you. That was the other part of it. Like, go-go embraced us too. Chuck Brown embraced us. You know, Big G, Backyard Band, White Boy, and the whole, you know, Donnell and the whole Rare Essence crew, Northeast Groovers back then. Huckabucks was out. Huckabucks was out doing their thing back then. Like, so it, you know, man, hip hop, go-go was the shit. Like, it was like, and then going to the go-go and seeing it live, it was like a little mini Freaknik every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, man, like, this shit is live, it's popping. You know, the go-go is real, you know, tribal, and Afrocentric and like really
Very
taps
much.
into the roots of music. Like you can't even help it, you know, when you go to a
Mm-hmm.
go-go live. So, you know, I thought that element was beautiful, and I thought that, you know, that the sounds that the hip hop sounds that were going to come out of DC because of go-go was just going to make it different than anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
What was some of the clubs that you used to frequent? Like you remember, like you know, the Ibex or
I was just
the
about to
East
say,
Side?
Ibex on Tuesdays with Backyard, Chuck
Yeah.
Brown Wednesdays at Crossroads, and you know, and then of course, you know, when the Icebox popped off, and
Okay.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
my era right there. The Mirage and the like
Mirage, I was at the
the Chapter
Mirage.
3. Yeah, that's my era.
After that was right, I came right after Chapter 3 when it was Mirage.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I was
you
too
know,
young for Chapter 3, man. That was the Essence and the Fat Rodney days.
and I was there when you know, when Biggie came for Howard Homecoming, and you know what I'm saying? Like that ended up
Yeah,
in one of his iconic lines in the song after that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I remember
that's
that. I remember that.
yeah. So you know, it was live. This is, you know, like I said, it's no internet. So it's like you had to tap in with the radio, and with the scene, you had to get out in the streets and get out to the clubs, and you had to go to Howard's Homecoming, and you had to really tap in.
Hmm.
You couldn't just, you know, see what was going on social media or IG or any of that. So it was a real beautiful time culturally, you know, for everybody to tap in with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's why, you know, people like yourself and people remember those days and remember the live squad, remember what we was doing, remember the roll call, and just remember us with all, you know, all that energy and just trying to
Hold on,
live
hold on, hold on. Hey, Peace too. Let me see if I remember. What is these? Time
time
to
to
get
get
live,
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 live
live
like the
like the
frog.
frog,
Always on the
always on
job,
the
no
job, no
time.
doubt. Who this on the phone and what you all about? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man. I remember AP Stu. I remember I called in, man. I had to be like 16, man. And I kicked a little freestyle, man. Y'all gave me my props, man.
Yeah, man.
I kicked a little 10-second freestyle.
That's what it was about, man. Just getting people to tap in with us, drop a couple bars, loosen up, get
Yeah,
live. You know, every night had the whole city, you know, dropping bars every night.
that
Every
was the
night, you know
man.
what I'm saying?
If you was able to get through to the live squad back in 96, 97, man, that was an accomplishment, man. When you come back to week,
Phone lines was
I used to
lit.
come back to school, man. That was like the highlight of my week, man.
Phone lines was definitely lit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and but yeah, it was fun times, man. And we like I said, we were artists, we were rap artists too, so we were doing music, and we really approached that whole radio thing more like artists. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we would go and rap our songs and do the roll call live. I just posted a few weeks ago this clip that somebody found from on YouTube from us when we did the original Summer Jam, DC Summer Jam at the Equestrian Center in Upper Marlboro, and we was on stage rapping, doing the roll call. Then we dropped some freestyles. We was, you know, rapping, dropping bars to beats, and
Yeah.
it was just like, man, like that's the. And we didn't, again, it was not no thought out thing. It was just who
Right,
we
right.
were. You know what I'm saying?
Now
So
y'all used to be flowing, man, especially you and Steph, man. Steph,
yeah,
you know, for a long time, I thought Steph was signed, man. Like she was nice with it.
she was definitely not, and that was definitely
Not
what
saying
something
that
we
you
was.
wasn't. Not saying that you wasn't, because I love all you guys, but
Oh,
you
I was
know,
the nicest. I was
yeah,
definitely the
yeah,
nicest.
yeah,
I was definitely without question. So, you know, so
yeah.
I'm good. Steph is the lady, so you know we gonna get a lady help. But now I'm just joking. Now everybody was nice, and we all had our different styles. But Steph was definitely nice, and
He's
you know
nice.
that's why she was able to go to New York and rock out on Hot 97 and Power 105 and do
No.
historic things on the radio out there as well. So, you know, like, yeah, man, like, again, it was great times. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was a beautiful time, man. Like when I think about that era, man, and the music that was coming out around that time, you know, how do you and you know, as far as radio, the impact that radio had on music, how do you feel like, you know, how much do you think that have changed as far as how much radio impacted you know, what a lot of the young people are listening to, because you guys definitely influenced us. You know, let me say this. When you guys were on the radio, and I say this to a lot of people my age, younger fans, younger supporters, but they don't remember there was a time when everything that came on the radio was good.
Right.
Like you guys ear for
Yeah,
good music. So how much do you think that has changed, you know, since you guys, you know, initially started back in February '96 or whatever?
Well, I mean, it changed a lot. Technology, advance, evolution, all of that happened. So that changed everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that made it so that there's 1,000,001 rappers now. You know, back when we were doing it, it was still wasn't as many rappers as there is today in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just now because of technology. Back then it wasn't easy to get into the studio. It wasn't a whole bunch of people that just had home studios at their crib. Pro Tools, their laptop and all that. You had to really go to a real state-of-the-art studio that had all the right ADATs and this equipment and that equipment. And, so all of that, kept the pot balanced and kind of small. And then when technology took over in the virtual world, digital world, and software, and everybody became a rapper, everybody became a producer, and it just added a lot more to the pot as far as numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still a lot of quality music out there. It's a lot of youngins out there doing their thing and all of that, but it's just so much more now. So there is a lot more clutter to wean through. You know what I'm saying? So technology did that. You know what I mean? It's just evolution. It's how it goes.
Now, one thing I noticed about you, your career, man, it seems like you never would just focus on one thing. You've been a DJ. At one time, I remember you was vice president of operations of. Was that Kiss FM?
Yes, I was assistant program director. Technically, it was my title. I was assistant program director, music director, and creative service director. So, and at that time, during that period, we had an operations manager, Kathy Brown. She ran Magic 102.3, and I would oversee program KYS at that time and what was going on. And I was doing the One Nation Hip Hop show on the weekend.
Yeah, I remember that, the One Nation.
Yeah, and that's when we started really opening it up to like bringing artists up there to do interviews. And I'm playing local DC artists right next to the national, New York, West Coast, down south artists, and just all like, yo, let's keep growing, let's keep our music popping. Our music got to be at this standard. If y'all want radio play, if y'all want to be popping artists and get deals and all that, we got to do it to a certain standard. So that's what we always try to, and what I always try to instill and do my part to bring to the market. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt, man. I like I said, man. You're originally from New Jersey, man, but up until recently, man, I had no idea, man, because the way we accepted you, the way we embraced you here, man, for the longest, man, I thought you was originally from here, man. So what is it about DC, man, that why you feel why you felt compelled to stay here, man, after all these years, man, and just knowing knowing how you've been embraced, man. What is it about the city that why you feel like, man, I'm gonna stay here and make this home?
Well, first I came here young, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, when at that point in my life, I was trying to get out of Jersey. It's not like I was like, yo, I'm Jersey this. I was super Jersey. Of course it was where I'm from. It's Emmy. It's where I went to high school, and and a lot of my lifelong friends, my family is still there. So, but when I came, I was young, so I was still in my evolution and growing. And like you said, DC embraced me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no choice but to embrace DC because I was coming here, so I needed the area to embrace me too. So I always remain humble in that aspect, and it happened. The area embraced me. I ended up starting a family, getting married, having kids. Buying homes. So This is where I established my foundation, my personal foundation, my life, my family, my brands. You know, the industry know me from my time in DC. The industry doesn't know me from my time in, you know, Jersey. You know, like you said, there's a
Right.
lot of people like you that don't know unless I tell them, or sometimes people hear like, what's your
Yeah.
accent? You're not from DC. Where you from originally? You know, so,
Yeah.
you know, but for the most part, people, you know, associate me with DC. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt, man. So, you know, being on the air and also being program director, which one you think you enjoyed the most?
Being on air, without question. It's, you know, like, especially when we, like I keep telling you.
I know that bag was looking nicer though, I know that bag was looking nicer though as the program director though. Let's
Yeah,
keep it a
so,
bean.
you know, when you're a program director now, it's you know what you're doing, and everything is about strategy, and it's a lot of more pressure. It's a lot more corporate. You know, so, you know, I had to adapt in that aspect. It wasn't as natural to me as being an on-air personality, because that was just us being us. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right, right.
you know,
You young, man. You were so young.
yeah, I wasn't even old enough to drink when I started. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like,
Right, right,
so,
right.
you know, like, we were just having fun, man. But once it got, you know, and I wouldn't trade none of it. All of it is, you know, allow me to grow into, you know, in the industry and with my skill set and all that. But it's not like being on air and being able to talk to the people every night and touch the people every
No doubt.
night and influence the culture in a
Uh-huh.
positive, progressive manner. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we was around. You know, we was on the air when, you know, when Biggie got shot, when Pac got shot, when, you know what I'm saying? So, like, to be around, you know, we was on the air when Hove and Rockefeller first started, and Dame Dash
Right,
and
right.
Hove and everybody is running around the country in their own cars doing interviews, and so we got
Yeah,
to experience a lot of iconic hip hop history. You know what I'm saying?
moment.
So
Yes,
it was
sir.
just like that's kind of like, I mean, like, the memories and moments are priceless, and
Priceless.
you know what I'm
No
saying.
doubt.
So on air, it's not like being on air, man. Nothing like it.
Good, but nah, what I was saying was like, you know, one of the most iconic moments of my childhood, man, is remembering when Tupac got killed, and I remember hearing that on the radio. You know, I remember you guys announcing it, man, and you know, at that time, you know, we never had a rapper that was killed.
Yep.
You know, so like I said, you know, when I think back,
I mean,
like you said, man,
not that prominently. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly, not that prominently,
Like, you
and
know,
you know that
we definitely had like Big L and
that was later. That was a little later though.
Big L was after Pac.
Yeah, because you know Pac got killed in the summer of
'96.
'96, and then Big L he got killed in early '99, like around I think like
Damn,
March.
that's
Yeah, I
crazy.
know it's a lot of.
That's crazy.
I know, man.
But yeah, definitely that year, you know, we had
He was the first. I mean, if you really want to, okay, no, KRS homeboy,
Scott LaRock.
Scholar Rocket '87.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, not to stay on that for a long time, man. But like I said, you know, you guys be on the air and on the radio, man. And like I said, you've done a lot of things since then, but that is a special time in my life. And you know, when I think back to my youth of being in high school, you know, we still talk about those years, man. So you know, with my platform, I believe in preserving, you know, icons and legends such as yourself, man. So not to discredit anything that you have done since then, because I'm tapped in. Don't get it
Right.
twisted.
Right.
But I'm definitely tapped in. I remember seeing you up at Iverson Mall back in like '97.
That was my spot. I used to be all over. You know, that was part of my role. That's part of another reason why I stayed, because my role, even with the Live Squad, was to just roll around the city and pull
Cameo
up in
music.
spots and
Yeah,
tap in with the people, do live call-ins, get on the phone, have people do
yeah.
shout-outs and all that stuff. So, you know, like, that was just kind of like I love being out with the people, so I was always out somewhere. Iverson Mall, Forestville Mall,
Yeah.
Landover. I worked at Springfield Mall, right when the Live Squad stuff was taking off. I was working at Springfield Mall in VA, so
Okay.
but definitely
I
like
probably seen you out there too, because I used to live in Springfield.
but that's what it's about, like those historic, legendary moments, and just like,
Right.
again, without social media and all that stuff. And I always wonder, like, what it would have been like if we had Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that
Yeah,
stuff back
yeah.
then. But I don't think the memories would be as strong. I think, like,
Nah,
like I remember where I was when, like, Big, Juicy played on the radio for the first time.
no
I
doubt.
remember where I was when Nas came out with Illmatic, and you know what I'm saying? It
No
was just
doubt.
like, I think now with
It was a
social
beautiful
media,
time, man. It was like I tell the younger generation all the time, man. They get to hear me talk, and they like, oh, here you go with that back in
old
the
head.
day shit. But they don't understand, man. It was such a beautiful time, and you know, I wanna go back to this when I was talking about the radio, man. Like, back then when you guys were on the air, it seemed like everything was just golden. Like nowadays, I hear a lot of these conversations, and I don't know, do you hear these things? But it seems like I'm hearing a lot of conversation about, oh, music is not the way that it used to be. There's no good music. How do you feel about that? What is your
Well,
take on a lot of, people, my age, your age, and, you know,
One, it's not how it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be. Like when I was
right.
coming up, the music that we was listening to wasn't how the music prior to us was. You know what I'm saying? That's evolution, man. That's always going to be like that. 20 years from now, the music is going to be different than how it is now. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something different to the culture, added to it, that these youngins, young generations always add their own thing to the mix. Part of it is
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to be, just like the old generation. And part of it is just natural. Like, you just different. It's just different times, different circumstances, different technologies, different opportunities. Everything is different. So of course the music is different, but that don't mean that it's bad. Like, I think that a lot of us from our era, we just get caught up in our era, and we just like, that's our era. We don't want to hear nothing else but that. That's why, like, everybody from our era fuck with Griselda now, and those,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because
I love,
it's
I love
like
that movement, man. I love that movement.
yeah, because that's a throwback to our era. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you want to, like, maybe we might not listen to like some of these other youngins as much, because it's not our era, it's not our culture, it's not our lingo, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, being a music person and being in the music industry, I respect it, and it's a lot of quality out there. It's cats like Corday, you know what I'm
He's
saying? And
dope. And
uh, uh,
he from the area too.
yeah, cats like Corday, Roddy Ricch, like these cats is making like beautiful like records, like great
Right.
music. You know what I'm saying? So, and
Mhm.
it doesn't sound like it's from our era. You can hear some of the influence in there, but they're still putting their own twist and their own thing on
Right.
it. So that's just growth, evolution. We gotta evolve. Like, I got kids. I don't want my kids to be like me. I want them to be better, or just be themselves. It ain't even about better or worse. It's just about being yourself and doing what y'all want to do, and expressing yourselves the way y'all want to express yourselves. So when you add that times a whole generation, shit changes. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt. I definitely feel agree with you like 100%. I personally feel like, there's a lane like you just mentioned Griselda. I feel like right now there's different lanes for everybody. So everybody has a place, man. I feel like Benny the Butcher got his place. I feel Roddy Ricch, he has his place, and it's something for everybody, nowadays. So
Yep.
with that being said, AP, do you still feel like, or have you ever felt like you were a gatekeeper in hip hop? Do you feel like we still have gatekeepers? Because you being on the radio, a lot of people would consider you a gatekeeper. What's your take on that?
I've never personally considered myself a gatekeeper or looked at it like that. Like, yeah, I hold the key. You got to come through me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I told you earlier, I feel blessed that I've been in this position. You know, I don't know, if there's a lot of people out there that wanted to ever do what I did or whatever. I don't know, but I feel
Right.
blessed and privileged to have been able to do the things that I've done, in DC, in the culture, in the industry, in hip hop, the things I still continue to do to this day, still always
Yeah,
trying to
man.
evolve and launch
Talk your
brands.
shit,
I got
man.
I got that One Love Mafia popping off, Hip Hop Fathers, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the Stew review, still just trying to stay tapped in and, stay relevant and stay current and up to date and still
Right.
contribute to the culture. So I just feel blessed that I've been able to do that. I don't look at it like I was a gatekeeper. I believe that there are gatekeepers. I think they're, way above my pay grade, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm more of somebody that just is like a navigator and can help people navigate through the industry, I like to connect different people. That's why we do the Stew Review, to just to keep the label side and the DJs connected through the pandemic and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of always been my place in it, my contribution. So I'm gonna continue with
No
that.
doubt. Okay. Now I respect what you just said, man, and like I said, that's the reason why I have you on here because you're a landmark in the city, and you're almost like a nomad, man. Like wherever you go, man, like you know how to travel. You know what I'm saying? If you're not here, you're gonna be doing your thing in this area. You always gonna be doing your thing in whatever whatever arena that you feel the need to get involved with. So I just heard you say connection. So I want to bring up, one of the artists that I recently just interviewed a couple of weeks ago. And, he was the one who really put that bug back in my ear, reminding me, man, how dope you are, man, as far as like, the connections and the artist I'm talking about is Kingpin Slim.
Yeah, my
So
guy.
yeah, tell me about tell me how you guys linked up, man, because that's a good guy right there, man. Not just a good dude, man, but he's a dope artist, man. So how did you guys link up?
I mean, he's super dope. At the time that we linked up, I was just transitioning into a point where I was like, I'm ready to get, I've supported the whole market, everybody in the city. I gave everybody, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I want to really get behind an artist and try and get an artist signed. I think at that time, because that was around 2009, 2010, and there was a real cultural shift in the area. We was embracing the whole
Yeah,
DMV thing. There was Studio 43. It was, Wale was doing the BOA and the Border Administration.
yeah.
They had
Black
Black
Cobain and all those
Cobain,
guys.
and they had grabbed up Fat Trail, and
Yeah,
and this was even after I started messing with Slim. So I started, but prior to all of that happening, I grabbed up Slim and was like, yo, because I always thought, first of all, I thought he was the dopest rapper in the city. Like
I've been telling people that, man. I've been telling people that since MySpace.
his bars and the way he put it together, like at that time, it just reminded me like of a young Hove, like a young
Hey,
Hove
P,
for the city.
P,
You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
P, time out, time out. I gotta stop you right there, man. I told him the same thing. Like, that's why I know that you hear music, man. You have a good ear for music because I told Kingpin Slim to his face, man, like, you our Hove, man. You you
Yeah,
you like our Hove because I always felt when it came to those bars and when it came to the flair that he had, man,
it was
he had
different.
that combination that really no artist had in the city. So continue telling me about that, man. I hate to cut you off. I just had to, you know, highlight that what you just said, brother.
Nah, yeah, and that and me being like, my twist and my flavor was more up north when it came to the hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, this kid is dope. And when I first couple times I met him, he was super like cocky. He knew he was dope. Slim knew he was dope. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no question about that. But so I was like, damn, I'm a humble, modest dude. But I realized like, that's that swag. Like before we was even really heavy on the word swag. Like that's what
Right,
it
right,
was. It was that je
right.
ne sais quoi. It was that it factor that I also
Yeah.
thought he had. So I was just like, man.
Man,
let's put this shit together and let's go. And we hooked up with my guy DJ J Butter, and we formed.
Shout out to Jay Butter.
Yeah, we formed that Beam Up ENT, and my partners for that was my guys that I had met in college from DC. My man Okra, my man Kofi. Those were my partners. Slim was a partner. He wasn't just like an artist. Like we were like we all tried to empower each other. Like so, Slim was a partner in the situation. We started Beam Up ENT, and we did 3 installments. We did Beam Up 1, Beam Up 2, and then we did
part 2.
Yeah,
I love that part 2.
And then we did Triple Beam Dreams. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like so it was just like, and we had at one point on Beam Up 2 we had dropped that the Goosebumps record.
Is that the one with Jim Jones?
No, that was the same project. This is a different record. This record we did the remix with Wale, but this record was in heavy rotation on 93.9 WKYS, and I wasn't even the PD or nothing at that time. Like, and the PD just loved the record. Shout out to Nikki, Nikki House. She was the PD at the time. She loved that record, and she put it in rotation. It was Slim featuring Imani, produced by Jay Butter. And then we had the remix with Wale, and for like 2 months straight, we was getting like 60, 70 spins a week on the radio. And at that point, no independent artist had ever done that, up until that point in the market. So, we thought we was about to get a record deal and be out of here. But man, it was such a political game, and at that time is when the clutter was coming in, and we just never all the way cut through to that deal, you know what I'm saying? But Slim is still rocking, still popping, still dropping joints, still one of the best artists in the city, you know what I'm saying?
He dropped a nasty mixtape, nasty project earlier this year, man. Like you said, man, he's still nasty with it, man.
He got a project dropping Black Friday called Fine Lines, produced by Jay Butter. Again, so he's taking it back to the essence of that Beam Up essence and bringing it fast forwarding it with that 2020 drip. You know what I'm saying? So, and also along the way we grabbed up Lambo and Low. So
talk about him, man. He's out of Capitol Heights. Yeah, talk about him, man. I just Kingpin. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard of him, but chopping up with Kingpin Slim, man. He put me on to him, man. I think y'all got something, man. So talk to me a little bit more about this kid, man, out of Lambo Amlo out of Capitol Heights, man.
Yeah, so Lambo was super dope. We had towards the tail end of the Beam Up stuff, and when we started we kind of started unraveling the Beam Up, and Slim started going in a more independent direction. And what we did is they opened a studio up in Northwest. We called it. It had the red steps. It was at this house on Tewksbury, and like all the youngins at that time was coming through there. I mean, Glizzy, Coverboy, Tokyo Damo, Q the Four. All the young boys was coming through there. My man Will, the dude Will, El Wonka, he was the producer and the engineer for the whole studio. So he had all the youngins coming through, and Lambo was one of them youngins. And it was Lambo's music, though, that stuck out above everybody else's. Everybody was dope and was doing their thing. They was fire, but they all kind of was in the same lane a little bit. Like they was all driving in that same, they was owning that lane, but Lambo was just all over here in this empty lane by himself. With his sound, and it was just like I heard that shit, and I was like, this shit is amazing, dog. And one of the first songs I heard was one of the first songs I heard was this song "On My Way," and this record "On My Way."
That shit, I know what you're talking about, man. I read that was one of the first songs that Kingpin Slim put me on, man. He go talk about it, man. Talk about it. I ain't gonna cut you off, man. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah, so "On My Way," he had already had that, and that's actually the record that got Lambo his deal with Rocky Records, you know what I'm saying? And then we got to actually put that record out and do a video for it, and you know what I'm saying? And like
now hold on, Pete. Now, is this the same roster records that Wiz Khalifa used to be signed to?
Yep, Lambo had a deal with Rostrum Records. We put out
Okay.
probably 5 records. You know what I'm saying? And then the pandemic hit, and that kind of like shuffled everything around and made everybody kind of like come back to the drawing board. So we're gonna see if we're gonna still continue, doing stuff with them. But for the most part, Lambo is indie right now. But we dropped a few records, and all the records are dope. All the records are like, if we were on Atlantic or Columbia, a label. See,
Oh, they would go. They would fly. They will fly.
Rashom is an indie. It's not a major. It's a major indie. Like, yeah, they had Wiz and Mac and they made a lot of money, but as far as their staff and their resources and all that, they're an independent label. So they're not Sony, Columbia, Warner, Atlantic, Capitol, Def Jam, none of them. So the budgets and the marketing and all that is a lot smaller than they are. The video, but all of that is a lot smaller than they would be with a major. And the music Lambo does, it's just too big. It's too good. It needs to be like, he does Grammy music. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the Wish You Well record, the Black China record, On My Way. We got records with Needles. He got like 10 songs with Cool and Dre. Like, Lambo's incredible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. He's if I would have to compare him, and I hate to compare, but if I would say somebody's lane, I would probably say like, more like a Gold Link. Like when you think of artists from the area, you don't think of artists like him, like Lambo Anlo, or you don't think of artists like Gold Link. So I commend you guys, man, for reaching out to that brother, man, and working with that brother. Cause I think he's dope, man. I love what he's doing.
I don't compare him to nobody in the area. If I had to do a comparison, I would say he gives me the Flip De Niro vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, like those are the vibes, his sound and his voice and all that. But like, he definitely sounds different than anything in the area. You know what I'm saying?
So with that being said, man, who else you liking from the city, man? We still got Light Show out here. We still got, I
like 3-0 Black. I like Ari Lennox. I like Money Mar. I like Flock, Big Flock. Some people, I like their movements, but I'm not all the way into the music yet. Like Gunu and Savage, and you know what I'm saying, JG Riff. Like, I love their movements and how they tapped in with the youngins. Money Mar is my dude. Like, I think
he's dope.
I think his energy and his mentality, the way I feel like he moves, and he moves like a boss. He is a boss, young boss. So, I really want to see him win. And it's so many artists in the area now. I know I can't even keep up. I know there's a bunch of new artists.
Young Gleesh.
My man Northeast, Young Mo. I like what Young Mo is doing with Kev Gates and that whole movement. Like, man, it's like I love everything that's going on. Of course, the artists that are signed, like Rico Nasty and Corday and Wale. I love that record he put out last night with DJ Money, that Lions, Bengals, and Bears joints. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I seen that on my IG. I seen it on somebody's stories earlier today.
Yeah. So I'm definitely I fuck with the whole area. Like, I want to see everybody from the area win, and eat. And I'm definitely gonna play my part in trying to make sure that happens. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the thing, man. And I always appreciated you as one of those guys, man, that always show love, to the guys, that's locally, man. Do you feel like DC Radio has always been supportive to, a lot of the local artists?
No.
Because I really believe, man, like, we should have some guys, man. It shouldn't just be Wale and Shy Glizzy, man, that really
not at all. There's been people like me, R.I.P. my man Tony Reds, like what he was doing at PGC. My man Two Face, the Wild Boy, Malik the Freak, what the Wild Boys was doing with the Metro Bangers, and commercializing the term DMV and bringing that term
Right.
to the radio and like but and there's been I call us martyr. We're martyrs for the cause. Like we did it, but the powers that be at radio, the
Right.
top, and man, they don't care about that local shit, the local artists.
Yeah,
You
I
know
was
what
about
I'm
to
saying?
say,
Like
I know you guys received like
they
some
I mean,
pushback.
and it's not a shot. It's the business of radio, and that's what artists need to understand, that radio is the professional music business. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like they got standards, just like professional sports. Like you can't just, say I worked out, I hit 30 jumpers, so I need to be on the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you got to go to college or the AAU. You got to get nationally ranked. You got to go in football. You got to go through the combine. You got to get drafted. Or if
Yeah,
you
put in that work.
undrafted, you got to go work out. You got to put in that work and meet certain standards to be a professional player. And it's the same thing in music. And radio is a business. And the business of radio is to play the biggest artists and the biggest records. It's not to
Yeah,
break.
we forget about that.
Radio's job isn't to break records. DJ's job, the mix show, the clubs, that's where records are broken now, online, streaming, YouTube and all that. But radio's part in it is to play the biggest records. So, that's why in every market there's always kind of a clash between radio and the local market, because the local market is like, y'all playing all this Uzi Vert and this person. What about us? And we
Right,
like,
right,
yo, that's cool. Radio is like, that's cool, but you got 10,000 followers on Instagram. Uzi
right.
Vert got 6 million. We try to
Yeah,
tap into that
yeah.
6 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's the business of radio
Right.
and how it works. So because of that, it hasn't been that supportive of the local market the way I would like it to, the way it has been like in markets like Atlanta and different markets. If it was me, if I was the PD currently at a Washington, D.C. radio station, I would play Washington, D.C. artists all day long. Point
No
blank
doubt.
period. You know what I'm saying? We got enough artists. We got enough major artists, enough big artists that do big records.
Everything.
Like
They do all whatever. It seems like whatever lane is out there, man. There's an artist from DC that you can put in that lane.
It's another artist I want to shout out. Bo Young Prince signed to Def Jam. We got Chaz French. We got Phil Ade. Phil Ade just crushed the BET Rap City.
He killed it.
We got the artists in the market that are big enough for radio to get all the way behind and rock out. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to take a martyr. It's going to take a program director, somebody that has the juice at the radio to be like, fuck that. That's just what we do.
Right.
And then show the powers to be the results from that. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I did One Nation hip hop show, the powers that be let me do it, but it was Saturday nights, 2:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on at prime time. It was like, you could do it, but you got to do that shit Saturday night, 2 in the morning. Which ended up working out to my benefit, because that's when everybody getting out the club. So it ended up being big anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we got to make do and keep pushing. I think we'll get there eventually. But the short answer is no, radio has not been as supportive as it should be to local artists. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I look at, like, there's so many great artists, man, that I feel in DC, man, that has that sound that radio is looking for. So I don't understand it. And then you got the Uncle Johns, you have the Odyssey. So it's so much beautiful, great music coming out of the city, man. And I don't understand why my city don't get the shine that it deserves. But I always appreciated you for holding it down for us, man. Like you always show love and always was, you was the first time, you the first person when I heard a Light Show. I never heard of him before. You introduced me to Light Show.
And
I've been paying ever since.
Yeah, and that's good to hear, because that's what I was doing it for. Like I wanted to be the first person that you heard these artists from the area on the radio from. You know what I'm saying? That was my goal. And I wanted to break these artists, and I wanted these artists to feel that energy of what it felt like to hear their song on the radio, and to come do a radio interview and have people calling up and tapping in with them and all that stuff. Like I wanted them to catch that energy, and so they would fiend and for that energy and want to keep that going and want to get that everywhere, every market, and that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So we got household names. Shy Glizzy is a worldwide artist. You know what I'm saying? Like Rico Nasty. These artists. Wale is one of the biggest artists ever. You know what I'm saying? In hip hop. Like, when it's all said and done, Wale and what he's done and what his contributions has been, as many #1 records as he's had.
Oh, no doubt. He's a legend. He's a legend.
So
love him or hate him. He's a legend.
So we just got to keep pushing and keep grinding and not get too frustrated with the process. We're gonna break down them barriers. You'll see one day you're gonna hit me up like, yo, Stu, I hear it. I hear on DC radio is DC artists. You was right. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt, man.
It would have happened a lot faster if I was PD, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I miss. Don't remind me, man. So Stu, you know, like we talk about radio, and do you know when you just brought about, you know, you're talking about how a lot of these radio stations here in DC, man, they're just not supported. But it's a business. It's a business.
And
like you said.
And it's the machine that's not as supportive. It's not the people. There's a lot of DJs. There's a lot of people. You know, DJs. People think, you know, why ain't Malcolm X spinning my record? Why ain't this DJ spinning my record? They doing a job. They're a professional DJ on a professional radio station. They have a job to do. They got supervisors and program directors that have a certain course that they have set for the radio station, and that all the personalities and the DJs and everybody are a team together like football. Right. Everybody plays their position to carry out that game plan. So it's not just a free-for-all. Malcolm X can get on the radio, spin anything, any record at any time he wants to. So, so the support is there from the people, you know, and the artists got to make sure that they keep looking in the mirror at themselves too, and not looking for no handouts from DJs. Support is key. We all need to support each other, but keep grinding, keep working, keep developing your artistry, keep getting better with the music, keep going out there networking, go to other markets, get features, you know, build your squad, build your team, build your fan base, build your audience, build your social media presence. There's so many things that artists can work on every single day for their career that don't got nothing to do with radio, but that could eventually lead them to radio, to streaming, and to all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, so with all that being said, do you still think radio has that same influence? You know, with social media and the internet, you still think radio has that same influence that it once had?
It's not the same influence, but it still has influence. It's different, like, you know, and you could tell, like, whenever a local artist is played on the radio, they posting it. Everybody's like, yo, I heard your shit on the radio. It's like at one point everybody talking about, I don't listen to the radio, but as soon as a local artist gets played,
let your shit get on the radio. Let's see if you sing that same tune when your shit make the radio.
Not only that, on the bigger level of it, when you want to chart and you want to be a Billboard charting artist, you want to be top 10, top 5, #1 on the Billboard charts, you need radio for that. You know what I'm saying? Streams have their own charts, but for the Billboard charts and Grammys and then big boy, them big boy accolades, you still need radio for that. So, you know, every record label on earth still has a radio division, still is actively working radio to the fullest, still is trying to get their artist singles to be #1 at radio. Right. So the influence is there. It's just different. It's not so much about breaking records per se. Like the first time you hear a record is probably not going to be on the radio. It's probably going to be, you know, on social, on internet, on YouTube, on whatever, Spotify, whatever. But radio solidifies it and takes things to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So it's still very influential.
Nah, I mean, what you saying, it totally makes sense. So, you know, what would you tell like an artist, man? Like, you know, you got a guy like Lambo Anlo, you got guys like Gold, like you got guys even like Wale at one time, man. These guys went against the grain. They get it. They went against the norm, man. What would you say to that artist, man, that does not want to compromise his art? You know, that want to, you know, maintain his artistic integrity. What would you say to that artist? But he wants to be successful also.
Well, you know, there's an understanding. There's a certain understanding that you got to have if that's how you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because technically, the two might a lot of times don't mix. You know, like, you know, staying 100%, I guess what an artist would call true to their artistry, you know, might not mix with being a successful mainstream artist. You know what I'm saying? So,
No doubt.
but I wholeheartedly think artists should stick to what they feel and who they are and be authentic with their artistry. I wholeheartedly feel like you know, artists shouldn't go into the studio like, I need to do a radio record, or I need to do this record for I think they should just grow as artists and keep doing records, and they'll know. Like, I know earlier you said I got a good ear, but it's more like I got a good soul. Like, I feel records more than I hear them. And so as an artist, that's what you should want, to get people to feel your record. So, and just keep working and don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never over, ever.
No, I agree, man. I noticed, you know, a lot of artists, man, it seems, and I always wanted to talk to somebody such as yourself, man, because again, I feel like you have a keen ear. You just said you got a good soul, man, but I wanted to always ask someone like yourself, man, who's worked in radio for, you know, for X amount of years, man. What do you say to a lot of these artists, man, that are just jumping into lanes and catching these waves, man, instead of really honing their craft, man? Like, what do you think that is something that is necessary, as far as like blowing up, or is that just part of the game? Like, can you explain that?
I think it's natural. I don't know about necessary. I just think it's natural. When you have a certain sound, a certain type of music, and then you have young people who are doing music for the first time, they're going to imitate first. You know, that's going to be the first thing. I was just doing a whole lot of research on the drill movement, and London kind of took it from Chicago, and then they added their own thing to it, and now the rest of the world, the rest of the European nations, they taking it from London. But it was funny to see how when they was doing it in Australia or Ireland, they were still doing it with the London accents and talking like they was from the UK and all that. So like when they first started doing it, and that's when you know certain artists would kind of come and be like, nah, I'm gonna do it in my dialect, in my way, and add my own thing to it.
Guys like Pop Can and Griggs.
They're original. You know what I'm saying? They OGs. But if you look at,
I'm saying, like those are the first guys when I think of that sound.
Skepta and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's a few of them, and then if you go and look in like Ireland at the Blackpool movement, and Australia, there's a drill movement. Like, it's drill movements all over. But now they're starting to develop into that. So the point is, like, when you first doing something in anything, really, in sports, you're going to emulate Michael Jordan when you first start, or LeBron James, or Kobe, or, you're going to imitate first. And then as you develop your skill set, you're going to grow into your own person within that skill set. You'll probably always have elements musically of how you started, but you will grow and develop. So I just think that because there's been an influx over the years of so many new artists and, young artists, I think young new artists just imitate first and emulate what they've heard and what influenced them. So that's what they do first. So I don't get mad at it. I understand it. And I also still try and look and see for those things and those artists that's cutting through and maybe doing something a little different too. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. I never, to be honest, man, that's really like my main gripe with music today, man, is a lot of guys sounding the same, but I never thought of it like how you just broke that down. I never really thought of it like that. So I'm gonna give a little, I'm gonna ease up off these young kids, man, because I don't mind the content. I don't mind what you rap about. Just I just like, we come up in an era, I'm just a little bit younger than you, but I still remember there was a time where you sounded like somebody. That was one of the quickest ways to get you up out of here. Like you couldn't sound like somebody. So I still hold that really close to me as far as like originality. But now, that you broke that down, I'm gonna start, I think it's like you said, I think it's really important, man, as long as that artist eventually grow,
Yeah, and the ones that do grow are usually the ones that end up having longer careers and sticking
Longevity.
out and being more successful, But I mean, I got kids, so I see it, and I remember back in my life, just when I first started rapping, I'm trying to rap like Redman, or I'm trying to rap like, you know what I'm saying, like, because that's what influenced me, and
Yeah,
that's the vibes I came up under. So, and then eventually I start trying, figure out my own twist to it, and anything,
no,
sports, anything like
no doubt.
I imitated first what I saw, and then as I developed the skill set, then I could
No,
add my own shit to it. So I just think that's more natural way things go in human evolution. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad at
no.
these youngins, but it's good for them to hear that your aspect too. Like, yeah, that's great, but y'all youngins need to grow and do something different
Got to,
too.
man.
It's
You
good,
got to.
so keep feeding them
That's
that
my
too,
only
because
gripe, Pete. That's it. That's my only gripe, man. Just try to be original, man. Because I don't want, I don't need you sounding like 1,000 other artists, man. And there's artists that don't say. It's a lot of guys that are original. So me being, older now, I still don't look. I don't look at music like a lot of people our age do. Cause let's just be keeping it a beam, man. Like a lot of people our age, they look at the young kids like, oh, there's just a bunch of nonsense. But it's a lot of great music being made by young people today.
it is a whole lot. Shit is
A lot.
so much, man. It's a whole lot. That's why I was even looking at that, researching that drill movement, and just trying to get into all the different aspects of what's going on a global level in hip hop. We just talked a little bit over an hour about just DMV hip hop, but when and when you break it down to hip hop globally, it's expansive, it's extensive, it's
Yeah,
long, deep
yeah.
rooted, it's very cultural, and it really runs the
Germany has a
world.
big thing. Germany has a
Everybody,
real big.
everybody.
Germany has Germany, France. They have a big hip hop scene, man.
The
A big.
Asian
I'm talking
country,
about Western
Japan,
artists.
yeah, Hong
Oh yeah, no
Kong,
doubt,
all
no
of
doubt,
that,
no
like,
doubt, no doubt.
like it's big everywhere. Jamaica, Caribbean,
Right.
Russia, everybody got their scenes. I was watching about this Polish rapper, this dude Popek, Popek, and he crazy, like he do crazy wild shit, like cut his face open, tattoo his eyeballs and all that shit. But like he's one of the most successful Polish rappers ever. You know what I'm saying? And
That- right, right.
we don't know about him over here, but he over there
Exactly.
selling 10 million records. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Here's
like
the
hip hop.
thing, though, Pete. And I don't want to. I hate to cut you. I don't want to cut you off again, but I want to piggyback off what you just said because you was here from like when you came on the radio. There was a balance as far as R&B and hip hop, and that was beautiful. I loved it. How has it been seeing the shift, man? Whereas hip hop, what do you think about hip hop being the dominant music genre now, of today? How has it seen that shift?
I mean, we asked for it, right? Like, hip hop. That's what we asked for. That's what we wanted. They was telling us that
Yeah,
country was bigger and rock and roll was bigger, and you know,
yeah, Michael Bolton.
R&B was almost like the sacrificial lamb for hip hop's
I know,
rise. You know what
and
I'm
that's the
saying?
thing.
Like the
That hurts.
tradition.
That hurts.
Yeah, so it's still
It hurts a
around.
little bit.
It's still is not dead at all. It's just not part of the mainstream anymore. It's more of a older adult contemporary type of form,
Uh,
traditional R&B.
I
Traditional
miss
R&B.
that,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
So again, that's our era. So we come up on that. It's just different now. It's like these youngins, they kind of doing. It's all blended in now. Like it's sing
Yeah,
rap. They sing rapping. They trap
yeah.
rapping. They singing and rapping. But I remember when that wasn't really a cool thing to do until 50 and Ja Rule and them came along. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
you know, again, it's just the evolution of it. You know, it's not necessarily new. It's just now it's, you know, with the amount of artists that there are in the world, it just seems like it's overwhelmingly the thing. But I mean, you know, it's just evolution. I'm real curious to see how things gonna be 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you've been around for a minute, man. It seems, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, from what I see, it seems like music shifts like every, I say about 4 or 5 years. What you think?
Yeah, I guess if you got to put a time, I mean, technology sped that up too. It used to be
Yeah.
longer than that, but I mean, it's a shift, yeah, every 2, 3 years or something now. Like, you know, with technology and the amount of artists that are coming out every day, and the, you know, youngins taking to a new artist every day. It's just, it's always shifting, always changing, always progressing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, Pete, I want to shift gears for a second, man. You know, I remember a while back, man, you had the you know, the crossover entertainment, man. Can you talk to me a little bit about that, man? Because that was very unique, man. What you did with that movement, man. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Well, that was our crossover. E&T was Carmelo Anthony's record label that he had launched during that time, and we had an artist named Diego Cash, and then we did a deal, a partnership with Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? And through that
I remember
partnership,
that.
and through that partnership with Cassidy, we did a project, Cassidy project with E1, which was
Mm-hmm.
which was formerly Koch. So we did
Right.
the project with E1, Cassidy project with E1. We also signed did a partnership with a young lady from the area named Medine. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's super dope. She done wrote on Beyonce. She done wrote for Kanye, everybody.
One more time. One more time. What's her name?
Medine, Midian. She
Yeah, you got me right here. You finally got me on the artist, man, that I don't know of.
because she was never like necessarily a household DMV artist. She was always like, she's like the DMV Adele. Like she does big pop crossover rhythmic, big records.
Okay.
But so we had did something with her, and it was just one of them things where it was like, you know, we came together and just wanted to Melo wanted to support the hip hop community. You know, just like a lot of young basketball players, they get some money, and he wanted to invest in hip hop, and that's what he did. And I commend him for that, because everybody advised him against it. All your team, your whole financial team, they like, no, it's a waste of money. And he didn't make millions of dollars doing it, but he still went out there and invested. He's tapped in. He's super hip hop. He got one of the most extensive music libraries of anybody that I know, DJ or otherwise. So
I mean, he hosted one Cassidy mixtape, if I'm not mistaken, a while back then. I believe he hosted one mixtape.
Yeah, and this was when he was in Denver. We was going out to Denver. We had the studio at the crib, and we was go out to Denver for a week or two and just hole up and record. But yeah, it was like, you know, it was definitely again some more moments, some more memories, and you know, I'm appreciative that I was able to be there and be a part of that. And Rock, I still my brother to this day. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely a dope time, and not many even people really remember it. But so it's dope that you even asked about it.
I remember, man, and I thought, like I said, Stu, it's the reason why I got you on here, man. Like, you know, people know
the shit that I do.
Yeah, man. See, this is the thing about it. You know, it's almost like, you know, people tend to get caught up with going on and what's going on today, and I don't feel like we preserve our legends. Like, to me, you're an icon in the city, man. And I thank everybody for for showing love on the live that's coming on. You know,
shout out DJ Red, shout out my man Chris Action Jackson. He's another legendary DC radio DJ. He used to do the middays back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to everybody on here. You know, DJ Mike Phillips.
Yeah, man. A lot of people coming on, man. You know, I
Shout
love
out
it,
to
man. I
everybody.
love it, man. This is a special moment for me, man. This is one of my, bucket lists, man. To ever, to chop it up with you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I
And really
appreciate you
pick
having me, man. For real.
Nah, nah,
I
man. I
love
remember,
talking
like I said,
about
huh?
I love talking about like DMV radio and hip hop history, music history, you know what I'm saying? And up to current, like I'm still tapped in, so I
Yeah,
love it.
definitely, definitely. Definitely, you definitely tapped in, man. What's one of the things, like I said, I admire about you because you always kept your ear to the pulse, man. You always knew what was bubbling, man. And it seems like, X amount of years later, man, you still haven't changed, brother.
Definitely, man. I'm still here. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still here, man. I'm happy to be here. Like my man Marshawn Lynch say, I'm just happy to be here. So, cause
Hey,
I love it. We love it, right? You love it. You love the culture. We love the culture. We love the music. I'm
no doubt.
always gonna be
No
here.
doubt.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Let's keep it going, keep it pushing.
No doubt, man. Like I said, man, it's a beautiful thing, man, to see guys like yourself, man, still out here, still knowing what's going on. You telling me some of these guys I haven't even heard of, man, and I'm tapped in,
Yeah,
and I'm
nah,
tapped
that's
in.
how it
Yeah.
be. Like and that's why we got to stay tapped in, so we can always, keep each other up on what's going on. Like that's what networking is all about. That's why,
And I was just
keep
and
me
that was about
abreast.
to be my next question. That was just about to be my next question, man. So, I'm just getting my feet wet with all of this, man. I've really only been, doing this for like the past month, man. But so it's so far so good. And I wanna ask you, man, like how important do you feel, networking is as far as like as far as being in the music industry, as far just in general in the music industry, how important you think that is?
I mean, it's everything. Like they say, your net worth is only as good as your network. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
like it's everything. Your network, your connections. And that's why, if anything, I tell the youngins is always be yourself and be authentic. Don't burn bridges. It's cliche, but don't knowingly burn bridges. I guess some bridges get burnt anyway. But
Right, right.
be you, be real, be transparent, be honest, and be creative. But
No
and
doubt.
network is everything. Like that's how anybody can stay in the business or stay in anything that they're doing for a long period of time is through your network. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the most important, if not the important aspects of all of this. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt. One thing I notice about you, man, like as following your career, I never hear any bad things about you, man. And also I notice, man, you like a very humble dude, man. For you to have all the accomplishments, man, where did that come from? Like where was that instilled? Where do you get that from? That humility.
My mama. I'm Jamaican. I got my Jamaican mother. She wouldn't accept me. She instilled in me from day one, like treat people how you want to be treated, regardless of how they are. Just always treat people how you want to be treated, and don't steal. Like ain't nothing worse than a thief. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
that's always been who I am. My mama put that in me from day one, and just always who I've been. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man. Like I said, man. That's what like I said. I follow a lot of different guys, man. But like I said, you always stood out to me in that aspect, man. So also I wanna shift gears for a second, man, because right now, you got your podcast, man. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Stew Review, man? Because I've been listening to it for the past couple of weeks, man, and it's really good, man. So tell me how you came about putting that together, brother.
The pandemic, boredom. I was bored, and like you said, like we just talked about the network. Like I had been feeling like I wasn't actively tapping into my network, the way we were before the pandemic. So I was like, man, before the pandemic, a long time ago in DC, I introduced the mixers meeting concept. I said we're gonna get
I
a
wanted to
label.
talk about that.
Yeah,
I wanted to talk about it, but let's talk about it.
Again, that's a network thing. Let's keep connected. Let's keep the DJs connected with the record labels. Record label reps would come down to the radio station. We get all the DJs in a room, get something to eat, and they would just play their priorities of what they wanted to be. So it gave like a intimate connection to the DJ and the record label and to the actual record. So fast forward to now, that's kind of the premise of the Stu Review. It's on a smaller, more intimate level. It ain't even about getting hundreds of people to tap in live.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's about me getting somebody from the label side, getting a couple DJs, radio people, and let's chop it up. Let's talk about records, what's new, what y'all are feeling. Let's talk about culture, and let's connect and fortify our network and keep our network solid. You know what I'm saying? So that's the premise of the Stu Review. And in the midst of all that, you have people like, me and a lot of DJs and a lot of these record label reps and employees that have seen and done it all, man, in hip hop, from all the biggest artists, from everything, just been there from the mud. And so it's a lot of gems and jewels that come out in conversation during the Stu Review, and so that's what that's all about right there.
No doubt, man. Like I said, I've been listening to it for the past 3 weeks, man. I love what you're doing, man, and it definitely embodies, your career and the connections that you have in the city, man. I love that shit, man. I wanted to ask you, man. Like I was watching, a video of you on YouTube, and I don't remember the brother's name, so charge that to my brain, not to my heart, man.
Yeah.
But it was an interview, man, and you was doing with this young brother, and you had Dave Mays on, man. And I wanted to know, man, how was it linking up with that guy? Because he's from the area, man. A lot of people forget about that. So, you guys still have that have a relationship?
Yeah, that's my man. I worked for the Source.
Exactly.
So a lot of people don't really know that because it was a real short stint. But I worked for the Source for a minute. And 2000, 2001, I worked for them for a minute. They had actually launched the Source Radio Network and were doing like a syndicated radio show with Ray Benzino and Dave Mays, who were the owners of the Source. And so I connected with them during that time and just always stayed connected with them. You know what I'm saying? With Dave and with everybody. And then fast forward to this time, he kind of had relocated back to the area. He had launched Dave Mays Media Network. I know recently he had did a lot of stuff with the Hip Hop Museum and launching Hip Hop Week in different cities, and just so Dave is the ultimate like hip hop journalist, hip hop activist, hip hop purist. We had, I hope you don't mind me saying that, we smoked big bud together. Dave is my man, and he's from DC, went to Wilson High School. His nickname was Go-Go Dave, you know what I'm saying? So, real good dude, solid dude, man. So, yeah, that's what that was all about then. We were connected, just, he was, reconnecting himself with his network in the area, with the Dave Mays Media. So I was doing a lot of stuff with him with that.
Now, P, this is a rumor, man, and I try to see if this was true, and you correct me if I'm wrong, man, but did you ever work for Def Jam?
Well, I didn't work for Def Jam. I work with them now. So my company handles lifestyle marketing for Def Jam in the DMV, and also handles for Columbia in the DMV. I was doing Corday stuff for a minute, YBN Kids, Capital at different times, Atlantic at different times. So that's kind of what I do now. Like, when the labels need some extra emphasis in the market, or, in some other markets on the lifestyle and promotion and mix show and radio, they'll hit me up and we'll get some things going like that. So, and I've been doing that with Def Jam now since like 2014, 2015, maybe, like 5 years now. But off and on with all of the labels at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Who they got run? Who's running Def Jam now?
I don't even know. Nah, he's not in right now. They got, I don't even know who replaced him, but it's a guy named Rodney Shealy that's running things. My homegirl Natina is running things, you know, on the
Right.
urban side. So I don't know overall like who the president CEO is right now. I think they're still in transition with that.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, hey Pete, you know, like you said, man, you got a story, a crazy career, man, and I could talk with you for hours, man. But I wanted to ask you, man, like with all that being said, man, and you know how a great of a career, man, have you had? Is it still fun? Is it still fun after all these years?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you got to find the fun in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of fun for me. It's not that young, wild, you know, staying up all night, sleeping all
You
day
seen some
type of
shit,
fun.
man. You seen some shit.
Definitely, you know, definitely been blessed to see some shit. But, you know, so now it's just a different fun. I have fun seeing other people have fun. You know, I have fun seeing other people have success. I have fun seeing my kids grow and do their
No doubt.
thing. And, you know, so it's just different fun. You know, like I just have different fun these days. But the industry overall is still fun. It's still creative. It's still evolving. You know,
Right.
it's still a challenge, you know, to be able to do things. And, you know, now everybody's doing podcasts and this show and that show and this content is king. It's like all over the place. So it's still a challenge, you know, to be able to do stuff and still cut through and have your part and be a part of the culture. So I definitely enjoy the challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm glad. Like I said, man, I'm thankful to have brothers like you to look up to, man. Being young, man, because growing up in DC, man, to see a young brother like yourself, man, that was doing something positive, man. I remember seeing you guys at Unifest, man, back in
Universe.
back in the day, man. You guys always show love, and we show love back, man. Because you
Yep.
guys always seem like you guys were always genuine, man. Like I said, I remember seeing you in Iverson Mo. I wish I would have. I was a kid, man. I was shy, man. I didn't want to run up and like, what I'm saying, get no autograph or nothing like that. But
I
this
used to
had to be
love
like
them, man.
97, man. This had to be like 96 or 97.
Whew, yeah, I hate that. Heyday, but yeah, I used to. I'm shy too, so you know, I didn't necessarily run up to people all the time, but we found our way
Yeah,
to each other somehow. Like I was always find my way to the crowds, and it was always love.
right, right.
You know, back two-way street. So, and it's still like that, man. I love D.C., Virginia, Maryland. I done lived in all three. You know,
No doubt.
I know that I probably know the area better than I know Jersey, you know, and it's my home, you know,
Right.
culturally, professionally, personally. So, you know,
No
it is
doubt.
what it is, man. I ain't going
No.
nowhere. I hope y'all love me, DC, because I ain't
Yeah,
going
we
nowhere.
do, man. We do, man. We do, man. So, P, before I go, I always wanted to ask you this one question, man. And I know we've been talking over an hour, man. Music is my thing, as you can see, man. I can talk about some music, man.
Shout shout out to the homie Tracy Lee just tapped in too. Tracy Lee is a
Okay, shout
big
out.
part of my
Yeah, no
growth
doubt.
and my history and the whole RNF, you know, Young Guru and that whole
Oh yeah,
movement. You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm
You
saying?
you you ever had a you got a relationship with Chucky Thompson?
That's my OG. That's my homie. Legendary. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to relate. And I got a song with Tracy Lee that I got to go find. I got a song that Trey dropped some bars on when I was doing records back in
Hold
the
on.
day.
Time out. You mean the Tracy Lee from Philly?
Yeah.
I had
Party
that. I had
time.
that. Album.
Oh,
Yeah,
that Tracy
yeah.
Lee. That's my
It's party time.
yeah. He just dropped
That was
the project. I believe it's called
he's a
Glory.
he's an attorney now.
He's an attorney. He got bars. He's got projects. He got
Yeah.
content. But I believe he just dropped the project recently, spazzing on that joint. I believe it's called Glory. If
Okay, shout out to Tracy Lee, man. I remember I had that. I had his album, man, back in 12th grade, man.
yeah, man.
He was dope, man. But look, I wanted to before you go, I always wanted to ask you this, man. Like because again, you always show love here, and you always show love to our artists, man. But the go-go thing, man. Like, why do you think, man? And this is a question that one of my friends who is in the he plays in a band. He plays in a prominent band, and he told me, man, well, if you want to ask somebody, well, you know, you about to talk to P Stu. Not, and I'm not saying like blame you or anything like that, but he just said this would be a good question to ask. So, a brother in one of these prominent go-go bands, man, he you know, he put the bug in my ear to ask you this question. So my question is, why do you think like go-go never really took off, man? Like nationwide, man, when it's so big here in the city, and most people that listen to it that I know of, they like it. So what's up? What's your take on that, P?
I mean, it's a great question. All I have is maybe some opinions based on my experience with go-go. And I'm not saying this is fact or this is what it is, but I know like
Keep it a bean. Keep it 100.
Go-go music is live music, like meaning that to get the full effect of go-go, you got to go live. You got to go to the go-go live. And
They're telling people.
the actual music, there's been a lot, you know, along the way, a lot of bands did songs, you know, and formatted it for the radio, put hooks in there, put verses in there, you know, but for the most part, go-go isn't formatted like that. It's not formatted into a song, a 3-minute song with hooks, verses, and a bridge. And so it's hard for radio, especially outside of anywhere but DC, to push go-go without it already being popular. You know what I'm saying? Like without it already being mainstream, and like that's why there's always been elements of go-go in the mainstream, whether it be sampling Chuck Brown or you know, or whatever, you know, whatever. Like Herbie Lovebug used to, you know, make damn near go-go tracks with Salt and Pepper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and, you know, like, you know, DJ Cool, and of course, you know, Chucky Thompson would throw elements in his shit, and it's just Rich Harrison. Come on, Rich Harrison, Crazy in Love, like, you know, like
A. Marie.
You know, A. Marie, you know, there's always been elements there, but for that hardcore, indigenous, authentic, original go-go music, it's not radio mainstream music. You know what I'm saying? It's live for the people culturally. Let's gather together, hundreds, thousands of us. Let's sweat, let's dance. You know what I'm saying? But as far as a mainstream formatted type of music, it just was never formatted like that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you seen recently Snoop just did something with Rare Essence. I remember Diddy did something.
I like that, man. That Rare Essence, anybody know me, that's my favorite band of all time, Rare Essence, man.
Yeah, so it's always been, you know, been there, been hip hop's, you know, DC cousin, that hip hop's cousin from DC is go-go, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been there, but you know, that would be, I guess, my response to why, you know, and I don't even know if that's what it is, you know, but from what I see, that would be my kind of response to that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's cool, man. Like I said, I know I'm gonna get an honest answer asking you, man. I know it's not gonna be anything, you know, politically correct, man. So I respect what you just said, Pete. But
like
look,
Trey,
man, it's been
like Trey Lee said, it's an experience. Go-go is an experience. You gotta go experience it. It's not like a song. You know what I'm saying?
It is, man.
It's an experience.
And it's crazy because, you know, you got a lot of people that's not from here. When they hear it, they love it. But again, it's they're experiencing it. Whether they at the Mirage, the East Side, whatever, the Black Hole, whatever that club that was popping, man. And that's how it resonates with them.
When a go-go song just like comes on the radio out of nowhere, even people that like go-go sometimes don't want to hear go-go on the radio. You know what I'm saying? They like, you know, like it just doesn't fit sometimes. It's like it's a real live experience that you really got to go and soak it up live. You know what I'm saying?
You got a pretty good relationship with a lot of the guys in you know, in the bands like Backyard, UCB, anything, you know?
Yeah, man, I love all them guys. They all legends. I really look up to all them guys. You know, Big G was one of the first dudes that showed me love. You know, when we started out, I used to be on Hobart, you know, smoking with G, and
Yeah.
And man, that shit is
Them
priceless.
black hole days.
Man, it's priceless. It's priceless. You know, a kid coming to the city trying to make his way on the radio and in the culture to have OGs like Big G and White Boy and Chuck Brown to embrace you and be like, yeah, we fuck with you, young kid. You good with us, and if you good with us, you good with DC. You know what I'm saying? So that led me right into, you know, the all the clothing companies and my man Kenny Westray at We Are One. Like that's my OG to this day, and he used to keep us laced up in the We Are One. We laced up in Hobo, laced up in Shooters. You know, Madness and Kurt Bone launch all days. Like so, we always
Eddie,
you know, had the right threads and the right DC feeling. You know what I'm saying? The right, you know, all the OGs embraced us. So that shit is priceless, man. So I love each and every one of them, man. They all legendary, like priceless pioneers, priceless people to DC culture. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt, man. Well, look, I hate to wrap this thing up, man. This has been an honor, brother. This is I can check this off on my bucket list, brother. You know, and I wish when I was younger, when I was 17, 16, 17, man, I wish I would have chopped it up. I wish I had the bad to get at you. You was over there by the cookie shop, man, when you first come in.
I was probably getting some snickerdoodles.
Yeah, you was getting the Snickers. Yeah, man. So it's an honor and it's a pleasure, brother, to have you on here, man. And I just want the folks to know, man, like this brother is an icon, man. He really showed love to the city, and from what I hear, you know, I've never heard any negative thing about you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for showing love here, man.
I appreciate you for having me and reaching out. Like, you know, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the whole DMV, everybody that tapped in and said what up. And, you know, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate life. Do it again sometime. You know what I mean? Down the line, tap back in.
Nah, no doubt, man. I definitely want to, you know, if the opportunity presents itself, man, shoot you my personals, man, and pick your brain a little bit, man, because you know, from what I hear, man, you that guy.
Yeah, let's get it. I love.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying I love sharing information. Information is power, so let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no doubt, brother. Well, again, man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for just coming to this platform and being and just being who you are, brother. And you know, you got the Stu review out. You got anything else going on right now other than the Stu? I know that could probably segue into another conversation, but if you could tell the people what you got going on right now, man.
Yeah, the Stu review, One Love Mafia, and One Love Tactical. You know, I'm out here busting these guns safely and responsibly.
I saw that. I saw on your page, man. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, that's me. I'm going, you know, I'm getting my Call of Duty on out here. So in 2021, I'm getting my instructor's license. So in 2021, I'm going to start, you know, giving it courses and training to all my people.
Okay.
I'm going to launch some youth firearms education programs so we can really get our youngins educated on these guns the right way, not the wilding out, wild waving shit in videos and then going out in the streets shooting all crazy, hitting all the babies and bystanders, doing this shit the right way so you can protect your family and still have fun. The shit is fun too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but being safe and responsible is always the first key to that whole firearms world. So be on the lookout for Shoot the Shit with P. Stu coming soon.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Always got his hands in something, man. Always moving, man. Never complacent. You know what I'm saying? Never consent.
Can't get stagnant, man. Got to keep it moving.
No doubt. Well, look, brother, I'm not gonna hold you any longer, man. I know we been chopping up for a minute, man. It's been an honor, and hopefully, man, the opportunity presents itself. I would love to do this again, brother.
No doubt, man. I'm here, bro. Just tap in with me anytime.
No doubt, man. Well, you take care, man.
All right, you too, bro. One love.